Hey guys, it's Mary. I am sorry I'm late. My phone and I were having a little discussion and it was winning. So hopefully you have been patient with me. I'm sorry to be late. It is Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and we're going to do a little video, I hope. I hope this time is working for you because I kind of like it regardless of the fact that I was just late. I tried to be on time. I really did. All right, it looks like we've got some folks. Hi, Jean. Hi, Mary. Hi, Karen. How are you? Glad that you could join me tonight. Well, I got some, I don't even know what is going on. Hey, Linda. Hey, Roz. How are you? All right, so this is a fun little project that we're going to make, and then if we've got a minute at the end and you want to take a look at my new storage by Stampin' Up, we can take a look at that. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Karen from Tucson, Arizona. Yeah, Karen, I'm agreeing. I like this much better than Sunday night. I figured out what was going on with why I am liking this better. Hey, Trudy. Hi, Patricia and Brooke. Appreciate y'all joining me tonight and spending part of... I did have my nails done because, you know, presentation next weekend, I thought I might not ought to look quite so raggedy. So we'll see. I'll probably have to have it done again on Thursday night. Hi, Arlene and Jan and Kathy and Faith. Appreciate y'all joining. All right, so you know, I figured out what the problem was. On Sunday afternoons, I get what I'm sure you guys are familiar with the term, the Sunday afternoon blues. It's what happens when you have to go to work the next day. Even if you don't actually have to go to work the next day, I get the Sunday afternoon blues. And so this video was clashing with that. So I wanted to do the video, but I was feeling bummed about the fact that the next day was Monday. So I think by doing it today, I can do the video with the pure knowledge that I don't have to work tomorrow, and I can rest and relax and take it easy. So we're gonna try this for a minute, all right? Hey, Karma, hi, Donna. So this is a little treat bag, and I saw this done, Sam Donaldson, if you know her, she goes by the handle of Poodles. She's from the UK, and she does a lot of three-dimensional projects. And this is one that she did, and it's so simple and so cool, and is a great way to use some of the beautiful DSP that we have. I end up with a lot of DSP left over at the end of a catalog, and so this is a really cool way to use it. So I'm going to show you how to make this. It just uses the DSP and the envelope punch board and some adhesive. But it's very simple, and once you've made the bag, then you can decorate it however you want. So this is the one that I did for today. I had a different one that was the sample, obviously, from the sneak peek. It used the Happiness Blooms DSP. This uses the Share What You Love DSP, and it is very nice to use. It's a little heavier, and so you get a real nice heft to the bag. And you just tie it shut with some ribbon. And the cool part is, because of course it's two-sided DSP, the inside of your box is just, or of your bag is just as pretty as the outside. And there's room to put like some liquid glue and maybe some linen thread or some candy or whatever, and then just close it up and tie it back, and you're good to go. All right, so let me put this back together just a little bit, and then we're gonna make this fun bag, right? Quick like a bunny. See what I did there? Quick like a bunny. Yeah, yes, I'm just hysterical. I'm hysterically funny. All right, so I am going to make one with another pattern of the Happiness Blooms DSP. I like it, and it'll be fun for springtime. So all you have to do, okay, there's like two persnickety things on this. The first is remembering the measurements. So are y'all ready to write it down? It's very complicated. You remember 1.5 inches and 3 inches. That's all you gotta remember, 1.5 inches and 3 inches. All right? And then the other persnickety part is making sure, and I'll show you in just a second because I have borkified a couple of pieces of paper by getting a little carried away. Okay, so let me show you. So to start with, all you do is you take this is a full 12 by 12 inch piece of paper. You put your first corner at the 1.5 inch mark, and you make your notch, okay? 1.5 inches. Then you take your bone folder, no, this is not a bone folder. Actually it is, it's a bone folder. And you're going to make your crease. Now here's where it gets persnickety. You want to get down, but you see the envelope board is gonna end right here. And I can assure you, don't ask me how I know, but I can assure you that you can punch through that DSP just like that. And then it's kind of ruined. It's kind of ruined. Hey, Susan. Hi, Lenny. Okay, so you've made your first notch and your first score at 1.5 inches. Turn 90 degrees and put your corner at 3 inches. Make your notch. Make your score. Be easy. You want the score enough that you can see it and use it, but you got to be easy towards the end, I promise. Okay? Okay, what's the next measurement, do you think? That's right, 1.5 inches. There we go. And notch and score. And right about here is where I start to get a little cocky and I get a little bit fast. And then I punch through my paper, okay? And then you're gonna make one more turn and do it again at 3 inches. So you go 1.5, 3, 1.5, 3. Now, get ready. This is the big switcheroo. It's the big switcheroo. Going to turn the paper upside down or right side up, depending on which side you prefer. And you're gonna do it again. Here's the trick. You're going to do 1.5, 3, 1.5, 3, but you need to be sure that you do 1.5 where you did 1.5 on the other side. So you can see this is at 1.5, so I gotta do 1.5. If I do 3 here, I'm gonna have it kind of borkified, right? Okay, so we're gonna do it again. 1.5, punch our notch, and then we're gonna score, and you're gonna go easy, but what's gonna end up happening is the score lines are gonna kind of meet up right here from when you did it the other way, all right? And see what you've created is a tab. So turn it another 90 degrees and go 3 inches like this, and score. Now, some of you might find it difficult to find that score groove, this score groove right here. I always do, and I make it goofy. So here's my little tip for you. Take your bone folder and put it right up against this side of the notch, okay? If you push it right against that, you're gonna be right there where that deep groove is, all right? So we've just done 3. We're gonna turn it and do 1.5, like that. Remember to not get carried away as you get down towards that bottom corner. Okay, and then we'll finish up with a 3. Okay, like that. Alrighty. You guys will be proud to know that I actually finally did my note cards for my presentation, and I have actually begun to practice it. I'm practicing. It reminds me of my days back as a squadron officer school student, first off, and then as an instructor, as I'm walking around trying to not do the fig leaf or the prayer or the arms crossed, any of those things. So, yeah. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're going to, and it's gonna be a little hard for you to see, so I'll apologize right off the bat. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to make creases across these tabs so that they fold easy. And in order to do that, there's a crease right here, and I'm lining it up with that crease alignment doohickey right there, okay? And then you just make your tab like that, okay? So do it again. The crease is right here, so I'm lining that up like that, and then I can make my score like there. And then just do that 4 times, like so. All right. Okay, now, one last thing with the punch board. I'm going to round what will end up being my front flap. You only have to do that on one. All right, and now we are done with the envelope punch board. Hi, Amy. Appreciate you joining in. And late is better than never. I'll take it. I'll take it. Alrighty. Do you guys see? You've got your giant piece of paper, and I'm going to put this side out. So we're going to work from this direction. Now, let's take a little gander here at our tabulators. You got 2 large tabs, 2 small tabs. Where all of your creases come together, that's the bottom of the bag. And then these are the sides, and this is the front, and this is the back. Okay? So now we're gonna do, don't be scared, Amy, we're gonna do a little fussy cutting, but it's very, very simple. So I'm working on the large tab side, and all I'm doing is I'm gonna cut this crease from here to where it intersects the center crossing crease, okay? So watch what I'm doing. Watch carefully as I cut along the score line that you cannot see. Okay, so there's one, and then we'll do the other side, like this. So our guys, our young whippersnapper guys, they all went down to Washington, D.C. today. My friend Tony and I said, oh no thank you, we are going to rest. Okay, so I've cut that. You can see what's happened there, yeah? Now what I'm going to do is, here's the score line, and here's a score line that define these small panels. This panel on the side of the bag. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna cut right on that line. I'm gonna cut about 3/4 of an inch to the side of that line. What I'm making is an adhesive tab, okay? That's how I'm going to put my bag together. Also, it gets you a little bit of DSP left over, and if you were a fussy cutting person, you could fussy cut some little flowers there. Amy, I know you won't be doing that. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other small tab. Remember, here's the small. So I'm gonna cut about 3/4 of an inch. It's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be terribly precise, but you wanna give yourself enough room to put your adhesive, okay? Now, let's repeat this on the other side. So I'm just cutting this score line down to where it intersects right here. This is the bottom of the bag. Do the other side, like so. Okay, and then we'll make our adhesive tabs. You may not believe it, but this is like the hardest part right here, is getting these initial cuts and the initial creases. Once you've got them, the bag goes together beautifully. All right. Roz, that's actually probably a really good idea. And Karen, I did the exact same thing when I was watching Sam's video, no doubt. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold and crease all of my folds and creases, okay? I'm just gonna use my bone folder and give a little light crease everywhere. So this is kind of like watching cement dry, I know, I'm sorry. What I like is that the bag just changes up completely based on what paper you use. And it's so easy to make it pretty because our paper is so darn pretty. It's just so darn pretty. We have such pretty paper. And the other thing I discover even more when I do these 3D things, is how heavy and substantial our paper is. It's not flimsy. A lot of times when you buy paper like at one of the retail craft places, it's pretty flimsy. It's all like envelope paper weight, but not ours. We've got good sturdy paper. I like it. Okay, one more set. And then we're gonna get out our tear and tape adhesive, which is the adhesive I prefer for this, for a couple of reasons. Not least of which is this bag's gonna get some use, and so you want a good solid adhesive, and I just don't think Tombow would work so good. Okay, so I've got everything scored and folded, I think. Yes, I've got everything scored and folded. Okay, so can you see how this is going to go together now? It's going to go essentially like this. Okay? This is how it's going to all go together. All right, so let's get some tear and tape going. The other thing I like about the tear and tape adhesive is that I can get all the adhesive on, but I don't have to have it sticky until I'm ready for it. All right. I make cement drying fun. Thank you, ma'am. All right, well then get ready because I'm fixing to pour some water into some more cement. All right, now these are probably your most important pieces of your bag because this is what's holding it all together. So I like to use 2 pieces of tear and tape, and we can trim that when we get ready. One on the outside edge and one on the inside edge is plenty, I think. And just tear it off there, hence the name tear and tape adhesive. All right. Can you believe that 1 week from today, I will already know what is in the 2019-2020 annual catalog. And if history will repeat itself, which I suspect it will, I will have already put in my pre-order because, you know, that's how I roll. And I want this hotel to have the full benefit of getting lots and lots of Stampin' Up! Boxes. They've already gotten a couple. So, okay, and so I'm just repeating that on the other side. So basically you're going to use 8 pieces of tear and tape adhesive on the small flaps, and you can see it's going on the outside pattern, Roz, outside pattern. Okay. If you put it on the inside pattern, it's just not going to stick the way you think it's supposed to. It will, however, stick very well to your grid paper, so be careful. Don't be like me and get it everywhere. All right, here we go. Goodness gracious, today when I went out, I had to go to the grocery store. I finally found my envelopes for mailing things, and I got my nails done, and I have never seen so many people. And let's be honest here, people. Let's just be honest and frank with each other. I've never seen so much spandex in my life. I would go out on a limb and say every 3rd person, mostly women, were wearing spandex out. And they weren't wearing long shirts. And many of them needed to. I mean, there are some things I won't be able to unsee. Just throwing it out there. I saw a bumper sticker once that said spandex is a privilege, not a right. Okay, so we've got our tear and tape adhesive on here, and I'm just going to put this together one side at a time. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Karen. This is my color that I had. I took it with me so that I can touch it up. You see, this is why I really don't get my nails done, because look, they're not even like 4 hours old, and I've already got a smudgy smear, but I just figured, what the heck. They wanted to give me gels, and I said no, especially after they said that gels last 2 weeks. Are you kidding me right now? I can't even imagine having to go every 2 weeks because it was looking like crap. Okay. So I've undone one side, and I'm going to leave the cover on the other side. And then I'm just going to pull this up. And take your time. Even with the tear and tape, you've actually got a little bit if you don't get real busy pushing it down right off the bat. But you want to line those edges up. Can you see what I'm doing there? Line the edges up. Like that. And then once you're happy with it, you can push it down. And then you can just repeat another 3 times. Easy peasy. Nice and squeezy. Nice and squeezy. Hey, Barbara. Glad you could join. Oh, dear God. No recordings, I think, would be best. Certainly not where I can see it. I'm going to be doing good to get done in my 10 minutes. Oh, and I have the 10 minutes right before lunch. and my presentation has a make and take. So if history repeats itself, which it will, one, people are all gonna be hangry because it's gonna be like at 11:40 on Saturday. And two, they're already gonna be spreading out their make and take stuff on their tables. And so if I'm lucky, I'll have their attention for approximately 3 minutes of the whole presentation, which I don't know, might be good. Okay, so on this last side, it gets a little bit more, you know, you gotta get your fingers in places, but it's still pretty easy. I should take that other piece off. I will regret not doing that if I don't. I should shut up and make my bag, huh? Okay, here we go. Now, Poodles makes hers with snail. And I tried that the first time, and I really had trouble because I had too much sticky too quick. Okay, so I'm just making that last flap, get it down, and then I'm gonna get the cover off of this last one right here. Yeah, you won't see anything, Mary. That's probably true. I think that's probably true. I won't see anything. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to see what's right in front of me on my table. Here, I'm just gonna trim that little edge off. I left a little bit too much on there. My mother reminded me to just think of everybody as naked, but I'm just not sure I want that mind picture. I wouldn't want anybody thinking of me naked because they'd probably turned a stone, a pillar of salt right there on the stage just from the sheer horror. All right, so here we go. Our last piece. Okay. And we did get some advice from our DDM that a lot of women like to go get a manicure because they're gonna be on stage. And then they get gels and they can't hardly stamp because they've got these new nails. So I did not do that. Okay, so everything is adherated together. Just make sure everything is good and stuck down. And then all you do is you're just going to push these extra flaps in. And then I like to take my bone folder and give it another little squish. Another little squish squash like that. And then we're gonna double it over. Okay, now watch. Are you watching? Is everybody watching? Okay. I don't know, Faith, if it will or not. You'll be able to know really soon. So we'll be able to post as soon as we have, you know, when we get prize patrols and whatnot, we can take pictures of those things, I believe. At least on Monday we can. By Monday we can show you what we've got. So yeah, you probably won't get to see the video, but it'll be posted eventually, I'm sure. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just kind of squishing the bag together and using my fingers to push these edges in like this. Okay, that's creating the bag. And you don't need to do a lot of squishing. It kind of just does it by itself. It's like magic and stuff. See how it created its own little crease? Okay. So now look, for this next part, you can use whatever punch you've got. You know, it's very interesting how I packed. When I fly places, I ship approximately $300 worth of stuff because I take everything. When I drove here, I was very discerning about what I brought. So, like, I brought 3 ribbons and 7 punches. It's very weird. I don't even understand what I'm doing. Break out the sea salt caramels. That sounds good. Okay, so I've got my 1/2-inch circle punch, and all I'm doing is sticking it down just a little bit below the top and giving that a good punch, and then doing a second one like this. Now I can tell you, just a note, if you use this Share What You Love DSP, and you really should if you want, it's beautiful paper, this is gonna take a little effort. There's a lot of cardstock there. You'll be able to feel where these edges have come in, so you'll wanna put your holes closer together like these, okay? As opposed to like out here. You will never get through all that DSP with your punch, I promise. The box is worthy of sea salt caramels. You know what? You are correct. You are correct. Okay, so there it is. There is the bag, all ready to go with a cute inside. And I've made a little label. We're going to use this little squirrel dude, and it's going to say, it says Happy Spring. So let's get him colored. And all I'm going to do really is I'm going to put a colored doily on white side up. I used a pearlized doily on this one because it goes with the pearl finish, but I didn't like how that was going to look with the pure white on here. So it's just going to be adhered to the front with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to pop it on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and then we'll tie this down with some ribbon. Okay, so let's color Mr. Squirrel. Let's color Mr. Squirrel. So he is stamped in Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I've used Call Me Clover ink for the sentiment, all right? And I did use my Stamparatus because I stamped him a couple of 3 times to get a nice solid dark image, okay? Note to self, once you've stamped him, wait a little bit or use your heat gun on the low setting to dry him because that Memento ink will smear like that. Okay, and then I cut him out. This is actually the largest of the oval stitch shaped framelits. All right, so let's color him up. Now look here, I'm going to show you. I took out the colors that I've used. I took them out and put them in my storage by Stampin' Up, and you know, you can't really do what I was thinking I could do there, but I'm gonna try anyway. So when you order this, this is on my blog. This is 1 set of blend storage and 1 set of ink and Stampin' Write marker storage, okay? So these top 5 are blend storage, and then the bottom 5 are ink pad and marker storage. And you can see the new ink pads fit very well. My Tuxedo Black ink storage fit okay. And the new, or the older style ink pads also fit okay, but they're pretty snug and they don't go in and out quite so easily. Okay, but when you order 1 set for, I think, $14, you get 5 trays. And you can see that each tray holds 3 sets of blends, so you've got 15 blends per tray, and then 5 ink pads per set, or 15 blends per set, 5 ink pads and markers per set. All right? Okay, so let me stick this back aside. Mary packed it in, well, you know, and yeah, I might have bought more. It's true, Russ. I mean, I'll leave a lot of other things at home, but not dimensionals, because that is crazy. That's just crazy talk. Okay, so I decided I am going to color his little scarf. Actually, that's a jacket, I guess. I'm going to color his little jacket with my Mint Macaron Light and Dark blends. And I'm going to have to get really close to it to see where he is. So I'm starting with the light, easy peasy, just kind of taking my time a little bit. You know, it's one of those take your time quicklies, one of those kinds of things. Because if you're going to blend, you need to do it kind of quickly. But you also want to be sure you're getting the right spot, right? That you're coloring the right thing. Like, for example, I came very close right there to coloring his little hand green, which wouldn't have been great. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of shading with the dark blend, like so. And I may not be able to talk while I'm doing it because I have to hold my tongue just right. Okay. All right, so that's his little jacket. And we're going to leave his hat white. It'll be a jaunty nautical white. And I think we're going to use Pineapple Punch for the flower. Dark and light. With my extraordinary skills of artisticness, we're going to use the light one first. And then come back with the dark one. Whew. That's some artistic stuff right there. They'll probably call me the next time they want to restore the Sistine Chapel. Well, we'll be there in July, so I will certainly offer my services. Okay. And then we'll come back and do a little more. Not a lot of blending here, is there? It's really just looking pretty monochromatic. Yeah, so yeah, that didn't really go so great. Okay, now let's pull out some crumb cake. Does it help if you stick out your tongue? Of course. I mean, if you don't stick out your tongue, Roz, hello, it obviously does not work. Have you ever ordered Stampin' Up! Stuff to be delivered to the hotel other than, oh gosh, yes. I just had a giant order come to day before yesterday, and I packed everything up. I had a big customer order come, my host code order, yes. Yep, it works just fine. So if you are a demonstrator, to do that, you have to go in and actually change your profile address. So when I travel like this and I'm going to be somewhere for 3 or 4, or for any length of time in the months range, I will actually change my profile address to be the hotel address. That's how I do it. Okay, so I'm just going to color him in, and I'm using the light and the dark crumb cake. We'll start with his little face. A little chipmunk, little squirrel face right there. Here, I'm gonna get his little chest. I want to leave his collar white though, so I'm trying to be careful. And careful is not really my strong suit. I just have to tell you, I'm not a very careful colorer. I'm more an out of the lines colorer, which is not really what I want. I figure if I was doing the Sistine Chapel, who would notice? It's so far away. Nobody could see if I'd gone out of the lines. But I would know, and I would feel very bad. But I'd be up there on my scaffolding with my tongue stuck out. I prefer to stick my tongue out the right side of my mouth. That works the best for me, I've discovered. Okay, now we're just going to do his little haunches right here. Gosh, I'll tell you what, there is a child across the hall that complains very vocally almost every evening when it's time for him/her to go to bed. Every evening. It's like, dude, figure it out. You're going to bed. I don't see any way out for you. You ought to just accept your fate and go to sleep. Trust me when I tell you, in 40 years, you'll be begging to have somebody put you to bed. Please let me go to bed. That's what you'll say. You don't believe me now, but you will. All right, here we go. Okay, and now we're gonna get his tail without getting his collar. All righty. Okay, yeah, I gotta be quiet right now because I can't talk and get this done right. Okay. And all I'm doing here is I'm adding a little bit of the dark where those shade marks are, like that. Just a little bit. And then we'll come back and do some blending. Gosh, I love blends. I am so hoping that there's a whole new slew of colors in the catalog. I am so hoping that. Please Stampin' Up! All right, now I see I missed a little bit of jacket, so I'm gonna do a little bit of jacket touch up here. Because this matters, it's important. And then I'm going to color the leaves. Hi, Sharon from Canada. Karma, yes, I can also hear, said child. All right, now I'm going to use Call Me Clover for the leaves, and I'm going to use the bullet ends just because it's kind of tiny. Just because it's kind of tiny, the leaves in the stem. Like that. Do you see that fancy pen work there? Man. I'm not going to tell you that I have ever dropped my pen on my work, but I have dropped my pen on my work. So it doesn't always go as smoothly as it appears like it's going here. All right. And there we go. Okay, perfect. I'm going to take it and I'm going to stop messing with it, because when you mess with it too much, then, you know, you're going to end up with a problem. I can tell you that for certain sure. And now I'm going to take a Happiness Blooms enamel dot, and I'm going to take one of these little Calypso coral ones right here like this, and I'm going to put it right there like a little tie slide like that. And then I'm going to take a medium one and I'm going to put it right there like that. And then, because I like to work in threes, I'm going to take another medium one and put it like that. Okay, now set that aside. And then I'm going to adhere this to my doily with some liquid glue. Hey, Linda. Yes, 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 we need blends for all of the colors. You are correct. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue on the side that I want showing, which in this case is the white side. And I'm just going to center that right like that. It's just for a little interest. And then I'm going to put 102 Stampin' Dimensionals on here. Not really. That's crazy. I'm going to put a few, though. A few dimensionals, because I like them. Hello. You know this to be true. I know these truths to be self-evident. All Stampin' Dimensionals need a home. There we go. Okay, only 7. Okay, you have my permission to use fewer than 9 on this. Okay? I know what I didn't do, but I should have before I took all of those off. Well, I'm gonna fix it by fixing it in a way that you don't need to do. So what you should do is, when you make this, I want you to put some mint macaron grass under him, okay? So all I'm doing is I'm popping this on with my Stampin' Dimensionals, like so. And I'm actually going to take my mint macaron marker, because I didn't use the grass image that is so cleverly in Fable Friends. And I'm just going to put a little bit of grass here, because, you know, he's got to have some grass. Like that. Okay, there we go. All right, now to finish him up, I'm going to give him some Calypso coral ribbon. Easy peasy. There you go, Roz. That is frugal. That is what I call frugal. All right, and you can just wind that through. And tie a bow. Tie a bow, like I said. Tie a bow, like so. There we go. There it is, one each bow. Like so. There. And there is a very cute little bag. Looks completely different from the other bag, except for how it's completely the same. You can decorate them however you like, change it up, use different DSP, use all your DSP. Wouldn't these be fun little party favors or placemats? You could put a person's name here, little place cards, and you could put some of those salted caramels that Daryl now has me completely thinking about. Thank you. But you could put some of those or some Easter eggs in and put them at everybody's seat for Easter dinner. Heck, you could do it with Christmas paper. The possibilities are endless, people. Endless, I'm telling you. All right, so let's talk about next week. We probably will not get together on Saturday because we've got stuff going. But I will attempt when I get home on Sunday, we'll do a little video. May not do it on Sunday. Maybe we'll do on Monday when I'm allowed to share stuff with you, okay? So stay tuned. I will post on my blog what I'm going to do. As much as I can share, I will share. I think the spoiler alert policy has changed some this year, so I may be able to post across the weekend, and I may not. So stay tuned for that. All right, folks, I appreciate your time. I'm glad you came over this Saturday evening, and we will see you again when we see you again. Thanks. Bye-bye.